This is Justin7 with SBR, and this week's feature on Are You Serious is focusing on Betsson, Betsson. We had a player who wrote us. She deposited 570 euros. She won 360 euros, and then Betsson seized her winnings. The player was accused of fraud. Now, normally when a player is accused of fraud, a book can show that the person is not who they claim to be. The most common ways they do it is by showing that there's a fake IP address, that there's cookies on their machine, so that this same player, you have several different accounts on the same machine. And another very common way is when you have forged identity documents. It's getting more and more common to see fake passports or fake national ID cards, and that's why you're seeing more and more books requiring international passports, because those are more difficult to forge. But in this case, the player was accused of being a fraud because her voice was not high enough. Yes, that's right, she's a female, and they thought she didn't sound feminine enough. So they seized her winnings and closed her account, gave her deposit back. So, this is such a bizarre complaint that I had to actually talk to the player and listen and hear her voice for myself to see, is this a masculine-sounding female? But it wasn't. She said, the best way to do it is to listen to yourself. So in the thread that has this video, I've included a voice recording from the player who got mugged. Now, when you listen to it, you're going to say, is this enough evidence to conclude that this is not a female and therefore not the person? And, to me, I think it's probably a female. But, look what they're doing here. They're mugging 360 euros in winnings on what could be called speculative evidence at best. Now, Betsson has a history of pulling crap like this. Just a month ago, they stole 600 from a poker player, accusing him of chip dumping. They wouldn't comment on it, and they just took the money. Too bad. And they've taken bigger money from people before. Also, a couple years ago, they stole 2,600 euros from a player, but they didn't even tell him what he did wrong. They just said, you broke our rules. We're taking your money. So when you have a book that mugs people on almost no evidence, or questionable evidence at best, and won't justify it, you got to steer clear of this place. And to Betsson, I got to say, are you serious? Justin7, Sportsbook Review.